Zamek fucking tambo no zamek kosher. Şeş. Wo ist ein Tambo? Come on guys, it's fucking tambo. La box where con come macho.
Mana puise le pugis futi. Hat pugis. Le pugis.
How often does that happen?
It happens fairly frequently, but not at the worst case I've had where it's gone down a donga.
What will happen to that rhino?
It'll be badly bruised. Nothing's broken. The legs, the bones in the legs are fairly short and very strong, but it'll certainly be bruised and he won't feel too good for the next couple of days.
Will you send him off?
No, I won't. I think the transport pressure added to what he's had now will, you know, it might just kill him. I don't say it will, but it might just be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
So will you release him?
He'll be released, yeah.
Thank you.
Eu vou wahrscheinlich Bophuthatswana. Okay.
One.
Two.
John.
3, 4.
Yeah.
5.
Was gaat jij konden gaan de boek? Siya, pagat tweet. Ano nga pa?
New school.
Ben, nooit watch gebruikt.
Waar heb je dit in? Maar waar we moeten?
Ja, maar ik vind het
Chief Polani, you're opposition leader to Chief Mangopi, the president. Did you have any political objections to the move of the people in the park?
No, I didn't. Not politically, really, but you know, when people are used to living in a place for years, its removals aren't very welcome. But they, as a section of the tribe, had no objections.
And what benefits will it have for them?
Well, I think if the park is run properly, it will, in the first place, give some employment to local people, and particularly the school children who haven't seen some of these animals in their natural habitat. Now that it's quite close to them, they will be able to see these animals instead of just reading about them in books. So.
And the decision to build the park here, was that kind of met with your approval, or do you feel it was misplaced, or do you feel anything bad about it?
Well, to begin with, I did think the area that the park was going to cover was rather a large area. But after some discussion with those involved, well, I felt perhaps it was necessary to enclose all the Pilanesberg area, the hills, mountains.
And you mentioned something about the cattle. The people who moved were basically rural subsistence farmers.
That's correct, yes.
And how is that? Bophuthatswana is a pretty fragmented country. Do you think there's a kind of good idea to maybe put parks in other parts of Bophuthatswana, or is it just too small?
Personally, my own personal view is that we do not need too many parks. I think one or two would be sufficient, because as you realize the population is growing, the land isn't getting any bigger, and what are we going to do with the people if we have too many parks?
But certainly this relocation of people is acceptable for you.
Yes, I should say so.
Thanks very much.
During the winter. Is the white rhino perhaps tamer animal than the black?
Well, the black is known to be more aggressive, but I wouldn't put
Jeremy, what do you consider to be the most important?
Jeremy, what do you consider to be the main objective of the park?
Well, the main objective of the park is to preserve a piece of Bophuthatswana as it was before the advent of modern man. Oof. The main
Should run at a profit.
I think I would like it to run at a profit. Whether we can actually get to that level or not, I don't know. But then again, I don't know that the cattle farming that was going on in here was ever running at a profit either. And also, at that time, there was certainly the habitat and was continually degrading, whereas we hope to halt that and improve conditions. And if we can break even in the end, I think we will be showing a profit, because there are a lot of values which you can't measure. Things like education to people, the aesthetic values, enjoyment of people just being out in the bush and seeing wild animals. And those things, it's very difficult to put a price tag on them. And it's not like so many kilograms of beef or game meat coming off. They're very obscure values.
Well, what is your function as a landscape architect on this scale?
Well, on a project of this size, the landscape architect actually gets involved with the project from the beginning. Initially, our problems were fourfold. We had to understand the land, therefore study the ecology of the land. We had to then obtain the land from the local tribal chiefs for this purpose. The third thing we had to do, we had to obtain finance and fence the land. And the fourth thing we had to do was to introduce game. After this initial large scale phase of work, we then go on to the smaller detailed sort of design work, and I got involved in the actual zoning of the park, establishment of the development zones where we would be introducing campsites and other facilities, as well as positioning the various roads on which people are going to drive while they're viewing this park.
What is the when you kind of said about designing the campsite, for example, what do you kind of take into consideration?
Because we were starting a park from scratch, we could involve this peripheral development principle, and therefore all campsites were placed on or near the boundary. When you look at the designing of the campsite, the actual site itself, the selection of the site is quite important, because you would require some wilderness atmosphere. The actual naturalness of the region is obviously important. And you look at the scenery, you look at the vegetation, you look at the kind of soils, and you look at the access potential.
There is a rather nice building.
Of this park is the fact that we are recreating a piece of wild Africa and not protecting a piece of existing wild Africa.
I'm going to repeat that because it's quite nice. What is unique about this park?
Well, the uniqueness.
Very much.
If you're ever keen on doing other things on parks, we've got some fantastic other parks I'm working on in Swaziland, where we're doing some fantastic new highlands park at Mololocho.